Hello my friend, I hope you're having a wonderful start of the year. Today we are going to talk about pagination, calendars and calendar pagination. So here I have a list of Ruby on Rails conferences that have happened in the last 10 years. And on the first page I have the oldest ones from 2014, and on the latest page I have the ones that are still happening in 2024. So it's just basic pagination for the gem page. And what if I want to select a specific year, a specific month, and maybe a day? So Pagy has recently added a new feature, calendar pagination, and it could look more or less like this. So here I have a selection of years. For example, I go to the year 2023, select the month of October and the date, the 5th of October, and I see that there were 3 Ruby on Rails conferences that started on this specific date. So this is an actually absolutely new view to paginate data by not just next page and previous page, but by time periods, by years, by months, by days, possibly by weeks. For example, I can say I don't want to see by day, I just want to see by month. I will go to the settings in the controller and remove the day view. I will refresh, and here I have like all the events for a specific month. So 2023 October, I have 5 events happening and they're all on one page. Let's say I want to see 2 items per page. I refresh, and you see within this year and this month I have 3 pages of events. So this kind of pagination can be useful for different apps that have well, events that have a start or end date, whatever. So let's see how we can implement this kind of feature in a new Ruby on Rails app. So I'm going to undo my changes here, go to the main branch, and on the main branch I just have this giant list of Ruby events. Actually, where did I get this list of events? In my seeds file I have a path to a YML file where there is a list of all these Ruby conferences, and I just parsed this YML file and created events in my Ruby on Rails app. So now we want to add this kind of calendar pagination. First of all, I'm going to add the gem page. So I will go to the console, type bundle, add Pagy. This will inject the page gem into our gem file and run bundle. And now I need to install the Pagy stuff. Actually, if I go to the documentation of this calendar extra, I will have this demo file that we can open and have a look at. So I'm going to enable the Pagy extras calendar in the Pagy initializer. I'm going to go to my app files, go to the config folder, and in initializers I will create pagy.rb. In pagy.rb I will say require calendar, and now I need to include Pagy backend in our application controller and Pagy frontend in the application helper. Okay, and then there are a few methods that I need to set up to make this calendar pagination work. So Pagy calendar period and Pagy calendar filter. They're also described in the docs here. So we have Pagy calendar period and Pagy calendar filter. I'm going to add this to application controller. And what are these? So the collection is going to be a list of events, and we are going to have the date attribute, not created at, not in time zone, but we have this start date. So we are going to have the pagination attribute start date, and this Pagy calendar period is that basically setting the lowest calendar date and the highest calendar date. We'll come back to this later. And in this Pagy calendar filter, we're going to have collection dot where start date is between from and to. So I can clean this up now. And now going to our events controller, I am going to set up the collection. So here is this example of a collection. I will go to events controller. And here in the index, we will have, we need to define collection. It will be event.all. And instead of at records, we will have at events. And so we have the collection, then we have year. For the year, we are going to say just size equals 12. We have 12 months. For month, we'll have, no, we don't have like 12 months. We are actually going to have it just 1 year on the beginning, 1 year on the end, 1 year on the left from current year, and 1 on the right of current year. We'll come back to this later also. For months, we'll just have size 12. And yeah, we'll have just years and months for the beginning. Let me also clean the other stuff up. And maximum 10 items per page. Let's go to our app and see if anything changes. I will, yeah, restart the server, bin dev. Expected page. So something is wrong. Let's see. Do we have page calendar defined? Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I need to maybe clear the filters. I'll just go to events. Okay, and we have just one event that is on the very first time period, so 2014 or 103. And let's actually display the pagination. So like the years, the months, whatever. So again, in this example, we have this page nav links. I'm going to add them in events index. So page navigation by year, by month, some kind of page information, and let's see, yeah, and the normal pagination. So let's see if it adds anything. Here we have these. Actually, you see it is already styled as Tailwind in my case. Why is it styled? If I go to Tailwind, application Tailwind as CSS, so I don't have any Tailwind styles for this, but it looks like my app did not precompile correctly, so I will run Rails assets precompile. I will run bin dev once again. You see now the styling was removed, but to actually have this like default Tailwind styling for Pagy, you would go to the documentation and here we have this Tailwind support. And there is this like default Tailwind styling that you can copy into your app and customize later on. So I will copy these CSS rules, put them in application Tailwind CSS, just in case run Rails assets precompile. And yeah, so now we have this kind of styled links to different years and to months of different years. Now, we don't want to display the year also, we just want to display the month name. So in our application control, no, in our events controller, here in month, I will say format equals, I think it's a big letter B. Yeah, so we can have like full names, or we can have a small letter b for just short names of the months. I think this looks better. So we can see all the events for example, October 2023. And just like this, our pagination with a calendar works. So looks okay. Let's add the pagination by day. So just as we have month, we are going to add day. Size, we have 31 days in a month. Format will be little letter d. So I will refresh, go back to events. Yeah, I need to add this page nav for day here. And now we have all these days. So we can go to 2023 to October, the 5th of October, and see all the events that were started on the 5th of October. Go to 6th of October, all the events for the 6th of October. So it's quite an interesting way to find the events on a specific day. Okay, now let's also try like weeks. So instead of months and days, within year we'll have just weeks. I will say week size, there can be up to 53 weeks in a year, and format will be big letter W. And here I will add week. So we have undefined method previous vanilla class because month is not defined. So we are going to say if add calendar month. So if it is defined, and same here for calendar day. If calendar day is defined, then we're going to display the calendar for the day. And yeah, we'll do the same thing for our week, if calendar week. So I refresh. Yeah, so here we don't have this calendar month defined. So let me just comment it out for now. Okay, so now we can see all the events for a specific week of a year. So let's see week 27 or yeah, week 29 of 2023, we had this Ruby on Rails conference. So in some applications, you might want a weekly view, so it is also available. But for this scenario, I will not use it. I will just have it by year and month, and let it also be day. Okay, now there is also an option to toggle whether you want calendar pagination or normal pagination. Let's say we want to add this additional parameter to toggle calendar and not calendar pagination. So I will say active if not params skip. And so if now we go to our events and add and skip true, the add calendar will not be defined. Let's see. Add calendar is now not defined. So all these page links are not working. Let's display them only if we have a calendar defined. So if calendar, then we're going to have these links that depend on the calendar. Otherwise, we are just going to have the regular pagination. So you see, I added this skip param, and now we have just regular pagination. I remove the skip param. I'll just go here, and we have this calendar pagination. Let's add a link to skip or not to skip. So I will say equals link to normal pagination events path skip true. And we'll have a link to calendar pagination that is just the events path. So let's see, I'm going to go to normal pagination, and I can go to calendar pagination. And you see, this way I toggle these two types of pagination. Looks quite nice. Now, what if I want to add an event for a specific day or month or year? Let me go to, for example, 2024. Today is the 21st, so I want to add an event for today. Let's go to this date, and I want this new event button to not just go to the form of a new event, but to prefill the start date with the today's date. So how can I do this? We need a way to pass the today's date into the params. So to do this, we would need to, well, have a method to get today's date. I think Pagy has a method named showtime. Let's see. Equals add calendar.showtime. I will refresh, and here we have the date that is selected. So you see, I click on another date or on another month, and we have the specific date selected. So we would add this to the params of a new event path. So inside new event path, I will pass what is the name of the attribute, start date at calendar.showtime. So now when I go to new event, it should be 15th of April. So here you see 15th of April, but I need to prefill it in the form params. So I will go to the form, and here I'm going to say value equals params start date. Yeah, I mistyped it. Params start date, and it wasn't prefilled nicely because we need to say maybe like dot to date, And yeah, it seems to be looking fine. So let me go back to events. I will select another date like March 3rd, 2015. I click new event, and you see we have March 3rd, 2015 pre-filled. Looks fine. And let's create an event like Yarrow birth, Paris. Create event. I go to edit the event, and we have this not working because we don't have param start date. So I will say param start date end to date. Otherwise, we have the normal date filled in. So looks quite well. This way we can go and create an event for a specific date. What if we want to also redirect to the specific date? So let's say I go to 2000. Yeah, why do I have just these 2 years now? Let me go back to normal pagination. Okay, calendar show time is not defined in normal pagination, so I will go and say link to new event with calendar if calendar is defined. So if calendar is defined, we're going to have the link to new event with the param start date. Otherwise, we are going to have the link without pre-filling the start date. So like this. Again, calendar show time is not defined. Let's display it only if we have the calendar defined. And yeah, I will put link to calendar pagination if calendar is not defined. Otherwise, link to normal pagination. Okay, so now I have normal pagination working and calendar pagination working. Okay, now let's go to our calendar pagination. Why do I have just the years 2014 and 15 available? This seems to be quite wrong. Interesting. Let's see. This is strange. Let's go and open our console, Rails console, event.last. So, okay, I think it is because the event last is on in 2015. And if we go to our application controller, we would have collection minimal maximal start date. So let's say event dot all dot min max start date. So we have between these two dates. So this doesn't look correct because we have event dot well, we have events that are in 2023, 2024, so this query does not look really good. Let's say start date would be collection smaller start date. Now, okay, this auto-completed code does not look good, so I would say something like collection dot minimal by start date, and we would have end date collection maximal by start date. Let's see if this would work better. We would also need to add it as an array, start date and end date. So quit, start the server once again, and this looks better. So this one did not work well because we were looking for event last, and event last could have any start date. So okay, this looks better. This query looks better. And yeah, now let's go to click new event for 1st of January 2024. I'm going to create this event. Let's give it a name. And when I create the event, I want to redirect back to the specific date. So to be able to redirect back to the specific date, I would need to add some kind of path inside our create action here. And how could I do this? How can I add a path to a specific page in our Pagy calendar? This could be quite tricky, but we can use something named Pagy calendar. URL at calendar and at event dot start date. So we could use this kind of helper, but we would need to have add calendar defined in our create action. So we would need to have all this code available in our create action also. So I would say before action set calendar, I would move all this code into our def set calendar, and this calendar will be available only in index and in create and in the update actions. Yeah, so let's put a bind in here. I'll put debugger, and I'll start the server in Rails as not bin dev and try to create this event. So I click on create event, and let's try to get at event.startDate. Here it is. Let's try to get this Pagy calendar URL at calendar.startDate. It is nil, but if I add helpers dot this method, then it works. You see, we have this Pagy friendly URL generated. So I will say helpers here, and I will have redirect to this thing. Okay, and this should work. Let's click on continue. And yeah, now I redirected to this event, but let's try once again. So I'm going to create an event for the 2nd of January 2024, new event. I click on create to have the binding off. Now let me switch it off. I click on create the event, and you see I was redirected to the same date. So looks quite nice. Now, what if we want to have also a button to go to today's date? So in a similar fashion as we have this calendar URL at calendar event start date, we can go to our index page, and if calendar is defined, we can have a link to today. So link to today, page calendar URL at time.zone.now. And if I click on today, it will bring me from wherever I am in the calendar to today. So let's go like to 2015 or 16, whatever. I click on today and brings me to today's date. You could obviously have like another date here if you like. So yeah, looks quite nice. We have this calendar pagination. We can paginate by year, by month, by date. Let's go to 2023, 5th of October. We see that there are 3 events. We can go and create a new event. It will open to create this event for the specific date. And when I create the event, it will redirect to this specific date with this newly created event. So looks quite cool. This is basically a new type of pagination. It was added to Pagy, and actually I haven't seen any apps in the wild using this kind of pagination with all these features, but looks really cool and promising to me. So I think there are some apps that could benefit from this kind of calendar pagination. Well, that's about it. Thanks for being with me, and see you in the next one.